The Whispers at Ightham Knoll. In the summer of 1908, the county of Kent was a portrait of English tranquility. It was a world of manicured gardens, quiet country lanes, and grand houses where life moved at a gentle, predictable pace. Ightham Knoll was one such house, a secluded estate belonging to Major General Charles Luard, a respected, retired military man, and his wife, Caroline. They lived a life of quiet contentment, marked by afternoon tea, strolls through their private woods, and the comfortable silence of a long and stable marriage. But on the 24th of August, a brutal act of violence would shatter that peace forever, leaving behind not answers, but a stain of suspicion that would consume an innocent man. The day began like any other. After lunch, the general, a man of routine, set off for the local golf club. Caroline, an avid walker, told her husband she was going for her usual stroll through the sprawling woods that bordered their property, accompanied only by her beloved Irish terrier. Her destination was a small, rustic summer house known as the Casa, a secluded spot where she often went to read. She took the key, as she always did, and set off down the familiar path. It was the last time her husband would see her alive. When Major General Luard returned home late that afternoon, the house was quiet. He was surprised Caroline wasn't there to greet him. A faint sense of unease prompted him to follow her path into the woods, calling her name. As he approached the summer house, the dog came bounding out, whining and agitated. The general pushed open the unlocked door. The sight that met his eyes was one of pure horror. Caroline Luard lay on the floor in a pool of blood. She had been shot twice in the head at close range. The scene was one of intimate, shocking violence, a bloody intrusion into their peaceful world. When the police arrived, the mystery only deepened. Caroline's 3 rings had been ripped from her fingers, yet a valuable diamond brooch she was wearing had been left untouched. A simple robbery seemed unlikely. The violence was too personal, the theft too selective. And there was another unsettling detail. The key to the summer house, which Caroline had taken with her, was missing. The investigation began, and with it came a flood of strange sightings from the locals. A laborer reported seeing a shabbily dressed man with a panicked expression hurrying through the woods that afternoon. Another witness spoke of seeing 2 well-dressed, agitated women near the estate, one of whom was crying. But these leads went nowhere. The woods had swallowed the killer, leaving behind only whispers and ghosts. With no intruder found, the cold gaze of suspicion began to turn inwards, settling on the one person who had access, motive, and opportunity in the eyes of the public: the grieving husband. Major General Luard, a man of impeccable reputation, suddenly found himself the subject of vicious local gossip. People whispered that the marriage wasn't as happy as it seemed, that he had a temper, that he must be responsible. There was no evidence, not a shred of proof to connect him to the crime. His alibi was solid. He had been seen by multiple people at the golf club, but in the absence of a better suspect, the whispers grew louder. He was ostracized by the community he had called home. Friends avoided him. Strangers stared at him in the street. The press printed thinly veiled accusations. For weeks, the Major General endured the torment, his grief compounded by the crushing weight of public condemnation. He maintained his innocence completely, but the strain was unbearable. On the morning of September 18th, less than a month after his wife's murder, Major General Luard walked out to a nearby railway line and laid his head on the tracks in the path of an oncoming express train. He left behind a simple, heartbreaking note. It read, "I have been accused of the murder of my darling wife. I am innocent. God knows I am innocent. I cannot bear this anymore." The general's death created a second, profound tragedy, but it did not solve the first. The murder of Caroline Luard was never solved. The shabby man and the crying women were never identified. The missing rings and the summer house key were never found. Was the killer a random vagrant who stumbled upon a lone woman in the woods? Was it someone she knew, whose identity she took to her grave? Or did the dark, unfounded suspicions of a community destroy a second innocent victim? The truth remains hidden, a shadowed secret locked away in the quiet woods of Kent, where a crime of shocking brutality left nothing behind but unanswered questions and the ghost of a ruined man